Yeah, not much, but a little bit.
Thunderstorms.
Yeah, that's true.
You're crazy.
This is the Championship Series press conference featuring the Texas Longhorns. We're joined by head coach Mike White and student athletes Janae Jefferson and Mary Iakopo and Hailey Dolcini. Open forum, so questions for anybody? Please start us off.
I'll start right here.
Go ahead, Brian.
Coach, Brian Davis, Austin American Statesman, obviously. Mike, do you believe in the concept of playing with house money?
Well, when I go to Vegas, I'm a donator, not a gambler. So, but if you do happen to get something up, then you use it. You might as well spend it and try to get more. But, we have free. We've been playing really free, and I think that's the concept we're playing with. Is that, we're not supposed to be here. We play best when we're relaxed and we're carefree, and that's what we've been doing.
As a follow-up to that, looking back on when the draw was announced, as bad as Texas would want to host a regional, do you think that it ultimately played into your benefit that you weren't a 15 or 16 seed, that you did have to go to Washington as opposed to drawing the number 1, number 2 in a super?
I've always wanted a crystal ball, but it's so hard to say on what would have happened or what could have happened. All I know is that we got what we got, and in some respects, as I told the team, if we wanted a better seed, we had to play better during the season to make sure we don't get those types of seeds. So we didn't hold a grudge against anybody for what happened. We just want to take the most of the opportunity to go out and play in 2 great stadiums, with great history, especially the Arkansas series, which I didn't know much about the history between Arkansas and Texas back in the day, but we heard a lot about it on the lead up to it. So that was what we built off, was the excitement of getting out there and being able to play in those stadiums against rivalries like that. Obviously, a rivalry for me was from the Pac-12 when I was at Oregon with Washington. And I know they're very tough up there, and it was not an easy draw at all, and we didn't look at it that way for sure, but it was just like, hey, we're in the postseason, we have a shot, we're dangerous.
Joey?
Joe Helmer, 24/7 Sports. Janae, I was just wondering if you could shed some light on just what's made this team special to avoid elimination 6 different times in this tournament.
I honestly think what Coach said, just going out there and playing with a chip on our shoulder and knowing that no one really expected us to be here or thought we deserved to be here. And even us not hosting a regional, I honestly think it played out in our favor. So just going out there each game and giving it our all and having fun at the end of the day, because we wouldn't be in this position if we didn't give it our all out there.
Eric?
Coach, we talked to Jocelyn Alo a little earlier. She told a story about being offered at Oregon by you and then not getting the offer kind of taken back. What do you remember about that? And she did mention she was very young at the time. She said she was only 13.
She would have to bring that up. Probably the worst day of my coaching career, probably. But at the time, what happened was we were looking for a catcher. And, Jocelyn wasn't catching at that time, and she had been moved from that position. And so, she came out and told me I decommitted from California, and I said, I want to commit to you. And I said, well, we've kind of changed our priorities and what we want to do. Bad move. But everything happens for a reason. And Jocelyn found the place that was best for her. And obviously the rest is history. And she's just been a tremendous ball player. She's great for the sport. And I'm sure she's going to have a great career going forward.
Cliff?
Yeah, Cliff Brown, Associated Press. This is for Coach White. Just want to ask you, format was a big conversation last year. People wanted to see some changes. Changes were made. You made the format work for you, but just your thoughts on how the format played out and your thoughts on having to play that doubleheader yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, as I've told before, is that big momentum game's the second game. Winning that first game for us yesterday was huge, but not having the ability to come back and regroup can hurt some teams. You play all year for it, so maybe eliminating doubleheaders altogether would be a good thing. But we've got a step forward right now, and I think it's been a good step, especially giving the winning teams one day off in between. Certainly helps. So we're looking to, as I'm sure as a collective, we're always looking to better the way it's done. But Mike, you can see, and I don't know what the TV ratings have been like, but I know they're good, and that's what it's about, is continuing to increase the exposure to the sport. I don't know whether it hurt some of the crowds yesterday. I don't know what the crowd numbers were like. Maybe having this one Monday series opposed to Sunday, those are things you got to look at. But certainly for our Oklahoma State game, it was big. There was a lot of people in the stands, so it didn't seem to hurt from that perspective.
Dean?
Dean Rule with the Oklahoman for Hailey and Mary. You guys are both from California, so I don't know how big and important the Red River rivalry was out there, but can you kind of talk about that? And now that you've played in a couple of those games, what that environment's like, and now to have it on such a big stage?
Start with Mary, please.
Yeah, the Red River rivalry didn't mean anything to me when I came here. It still doesn't, because you never like to look at the opponent. We like to just play carefree and play for each other. I've actually played with most of those girls, so it's like playing the California teams all over again. So it's pretty fun to see them just in a different uniform.
Haley?
Yeah, same thing. I've learned a lot about different rivalries and whatnot, and everybody hating Texas since I've been here that I didn't know about. But I think when it goes to the rivalry, Coach White said it best before we played them in the 3-game series, is you can't call it a rivalry if you don't beat them. And I think the softball program, we hadn't beat them in years, and so finally getting that one win, it's like, hey, you can start to kind of call it that again and keep competing with them. But yeah, for us, I think just playing.
Right.
Ryan Chapman, All Sooners. This one's for Coach and Mary. Against Oklahoma State, you're able to kind of turn around the regular season results, get the wins when it mattered most. You obviously have a win against Oklahoma in the bag already, but what do you need to do? What kind of is that X factor for you guys to do that again, to win 2 here in the Champ Series?
Mary, you want to go first?
I think we just need to win every pitch. That's been our motto going into each game, is win every pitch. We focus on every pitch, every inning, every out, and minimizing the damage. So if we can win in the small aspects, I think overall there's less damage done.
Coach? Yeah, you're being talking about not playing the name on the jersey all year and just set a standard of softball. Obviously, our highest standard this year at one time was the win against Oklahoma, where everything came together and we started to believe and we started to play well. But of course, it's hard to repeat that all the time. But we know that's the standard we can get to. So we really started coming out with, let's do ordinary better and let the extraordinary happen. I think at times we try to think too much and do too much instead of just doing the basics. As I said last night, we've lost more games than I think than other opponents have won against us, so to speak. We've shot ourselves in the foot a lot of times. We had a lot of errors, multiple errors. Our team has played unbelievable defense in this postseason, and that's what we got to do. We're doing ordinary very well.
Justin?
Coach, back here. Justin McLeod, extra inning softball. I know in the Big 12 tournament, I know everything on social media that went everywhere. But the fact remains, on the field, your team has been very different since that Big 12 tournament. What was the switch that flipped at that point that has carried you through the rest of the postseason?
Sure. I think it's just playing with, like we said, house money. It's playing carefree, not careless. And just making the most opportunities and look around and enjoy it. I told the ladies before we came here, this is going to be the best week of your life. And I didn't know. I actually kind of lied, because now it's become 2 weeks. And it's just a matter of taking time to smell the roses and look around. And I know you'll see me look around at the crowd and look at the stadium and just grateful to be here. And that's what you look at, win or lose. It's just a moment in time for you in your life. And if you don't take time to smell it and enjoy it, it passes you by.
Right.
Ryan Aber from the Oklahoma. This question's for Coach White. Mike, Hope Trautwein, I want to ask you about her. Obviously, you've seen her the last few years down at North Texas. She's from the Austin area. How much did you take a look at her, when she entered the portal? And what stood out to you about her then? And, what is different about her now this last year at OU?
Well, Hope Trautwein was a tremendous presence for North Texas when she played against them. We had pretty good success against her, but it was always tough. And we knew she had a great rise ball and threw very hard. And she was our number one priority right down to the last minute. And unfortunately for us, that she decided to go to Oklahoma. So we actually thought we had a really good shot at that one. And she was on campus and visited with us. And I think she liked it. And she was a Texas kid, and we didn't want to lose her. But, it is what it is right now. And but She's tough because she's gritty. She keeps throwing, and she challenges you. She knows she has good stuff, and that's what makes her good.
Brian?
Two different questions. First one for Mary and Janae. I mean, I haven't heard you guys talk much about this, but can y'all now say just how pissed off you were that you didn't get shirts after the Arkansas Regional, and how that slight, it seems to have lit a huge fire?
Let's start with Janae, please.
Yeah, I think we were pretty upset about it. Just having the overall experience for Super Regionals, I feel like once you get out of your Super Regional, you look forward to the hats and the shirts to just take in the whole moment. So without having that, it was kind of like, oh, Texas is going, but we didn't really feel it as a team, or I don't know, get that feeling of excitement really. So,
Mary?
I definitely think we smelled a hint of disrespect, and we used that as fuel to fire us through the rest of this postseason. So we're grateful to be here. We're grateful for the experience that we keep getting to have. So it is what it is, and we're just going to use it.
Justin?
Coach, you talked about your defense a couple of times this week. From a coaching perspective, how do you divvy up the defensive responsibilities in practice? Who does what? Can you walk me through that?
Sure. Coach Singleton works with the infield, and then Coach Bartlett works with the outfield, and we do independent drills on that, and then we come together as a group and then work as a team, do a lot of situational plays, prepare for the opponent we're going to play. Yep.
Brian?
Hailey, I wanted to go back to the series, back home. What was different Thursday than Saturday? Saturday obviously was a huge emotional day, Cat's retirement jersey, all that stuff. But your pitching wise, what was different those 2 days?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we really changed anything approach wise. From the right out the gate, that first game, the plan was to attack. They're a lineup 1 through 9 of talented power hitters, and so you can't fear them, but you have to respect them. So you have to trust that your stuff will beat their best swing. And, only gave up 3 runs that first day, and so that was a confidence boost and a small win for us. So going out there that last day, it was the same thing, leave it all out there, 1 pitch at a time, and, ultimately everything worked out in our favor that day.
Eric?
I got a question for Coach and the players. For Coach, just can you talk a little bit about what you've seen in terms of Patty Gasso creating this program at Oklahoma and what she's built it to? And then for the players, you're going to be they're going to almost have a home field advantage. How do you take the crowd out of the game? How important is that during these next couple of days?
Start with Coach White, please.
Well, I think as a coach, what you want to do is try and create a machine, so to speak, where you just replace bits and pieces at a time. As one graduates, you bring the next piece in, and then you have your upperclassmen that know your system, and they can teach the system, because a coach only gets so much time with them. And that's kind of what we developed at Oregon a little bit, and now we're starting to develop that at Texas. And, Coach Gasso has done a phenomenal job there, the ability to create a program or a system that is working for them, and it's evolving each time. And that's what you do as a coach. You never think you've got a system down. You're always looking to add to it and get it better, because if you don't, you can get passed by. And as we know, it's kind of like the stock market. It's a little bit of up and downs. So you make sure to keep that thing flat and going upwards.
Haley?
Sorry, what was the question? Oh, yeah. I mean, for us, we tell ourselves they're just cheering for us. It's what you got to do sometimes. But I think we're just enjoying the experience, and the fact that regardless of who they're cheering for, there is upwards of 13,000 people here is just an amazing experience as an athlete, but it's also incredible to see how far the sport has come. So I think we're just enjoying every moment regardless of what they're yelling.
Mary?
We've been on the road the last 3 weeks, 4 now, and so those stadiums were hard to play in. Everyone yelling at different things at you. So I think we are experienced in the level of not being at home, and so having those first 3 weeks under our belt, it's a confidence booster for sure.
And Janae, if you have anything to add.
Yeah, just going off of both of them, I feel like we were very prepared. Just from the Fayetteville regional, I feel like that was a lot of people out there, and them yelling, "Let's go Hogs," we were saying, "Let's go Horns" in our heads. So just copying off of Haley, just thinking that they're cheering for us the whole time. So we'll take that mentality into this game as well.
Jenny?
Hey, Mike, back here, sorry.
Gotcha.
I know tons of great players in the game right now, tons of really good teams, but Jocelyn Alo seems to have taken that sort of popularity to a different level. I know you're going to try to get her out the next couple of days, but on a bigger picture scale, what does it mean to have a player in the game that has that transcending ability like she has right now?
Well, I'm sure the state of Hawaii is enamored with her, and she should probably run for mayor when she gets done, or for office. But it is, this thing's bigger than the game. She's starting to do that. She's, the all-time home run leader, and is a great personality for the game. And I hope that continues going forward, no matter what happens this week. She's going to have another career outside of college. It's going to be exciting to see how she does. Obviously, I think USA Softball needs to look at her, with somebody with that kind of talent. And I hope she just keeps pushing the limit and being a great ambassador for the sport.
A couple of questions here on Zoom. Let's go to Eric Lopez.
For the student athletes, for all three of you, you all have a unique perspective of playing for Coach White from your backgrounds. Can you describe what it's been like to play for Coach White?
Start with Janae, please.
I think it's been amazing. Since my freshman year, I was with Coach Clark originally. So just coming in with this new coach here and just getting the idea of being a competitor and actually going out there and winning. I feel like my freshman year, we were just going out there to have fun. But now with him, I feel that it's all about competing and going out there and giving it your all. And he's pushed me to my limits, and I'm just extremely grateful for him.
Mary?
So I've known Coach White since I was like 13. So what am I, 22 now? So 29 years. So just having that relationship evolve and see the different coach he was at Oregon and how he was able to push such a good culture there and help build one here. So it's been pretty amazing to see the different coach he's become throughout those years.
Hailey?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've only been here for 6 months and got to work with him, but that was part of the reason I chose Texas, was to learn from him and all the experience he had at the Women's College World Series as a pitcher himself, and just a lot of the experience he's had, he uses for great lessons for us pitchers and us athletes. So I think that that's been the best part.
Another question on Zoom from Graham Hayes.
Mary, kind of following up on that same theme with Mike, having been around him so long, you were talking about watching him evolve. And there's been that phrase going around recently on TV and elsewhere of chill Mike White. Have you seen a difference in the way he's communicating or connecting with this group?
Yes, his communication is so different. It's evolved in the best way possible. My old teammates, we have a group chat going on, and how he pushed you in the right way and he was hard on you, but his form of communication these days is more soft-spoken, and I think it works best for this generation going forward, and I think that's really great for our sport in order to form the best forms of communication and relationships.
Cliff?
Yeah, this is for Janae and Mary. You both were drafted professionally by leagues that didn't even exist 3 years ago. You look at NIL money coming in. How important are those things in the development of the game and the steps that we're taking right now?
Start with Janae, please.
I think it's just really important for our sport overall, and it just shows how much the sport is growing, and I'm just extremely grateful for the opportunity to be in the sport at this moment and just have the opportunities that I do have, and it's all because those that have come before me and just experiencing this moment here. So,
Mary?
I think right now I'm just grateful that we even have this opportunity, and for those that came before us and those that are still doing it that we can learn from. It's just a really cool thing for our sport, and I can't wait to see what it looks like in 10 years from now.
Got time for one more. Brian, you have one?
For Mary and Janae, I don't know how much you guys know Logan Eggleston, Rory Harmon, Peyton Stearns, all the great great female athletes at Texas, and just the spring semester that the school has had. What feeling do you get when you know, like, hey, it's your turn. It's your turn to keep doing what everybody else has been doing and winning big?
Let's start with Mary, please.
I think it's huge for Longhorn Nation. We definitely supported all those girls in their championship series, and we loved watching them, and we are good enough friends with them, so to know we have their support is pretty awesome.
Janae?
Yeah, I'm just glad that it's our turn, and just to go out there and show people that we're just as good as them. Like, all of our sports at Texas, we're phenomenal, and we show that Texas fight no matter what. And just going out there and, like Mary said, knowing that we have their support and we support them as well. So we're all a big family at Longhorn Nation.
Brian, you good? Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your time, Coach. We appreciate it. Janae, thank you very much. Mary,
you.
Hailey, congratulations.
Thank you.